Hello everyone, I'm Scarlett from Azúcar Cakes and today I'm going to show you yummy traditional alfajores recipe. We're going to start by placing 1.5 cups of flour on a very clean surface, and then we're going to wash our hands and with proper hygiene measure 1/2 cup of cornstarch. I don't like to cross-contaminate in the kitchen because I do work with gluten-free recipes and cornstarch is gluten-free. So now we're going to measure 8 tablespoons of icing sugar, and we are going to integrate all these dry ingredients together, trying to make any lumps disappear using a whisk. And once we're satisfied with the texture of our dry ingredients, we're going to add 1 cup of margarine minus 2 tablespoons. We're going to set those 2 tablespoons to the side for later, for when we're rolling the dough, because we'll need it. And this is the part I like because I feel like a little Looney Tune. We use our fingertips a lot and it reminds me of the Barber of Seville. It's so much fun. And this is very important that when we work with pastry, we only use our fingers. And fingers, never our palms, because that's for bread and this is pastry. So we are going to roll our dough in a little ball like this. It's going to look like a Play-Doh. Precisely, good comparison. Play-Doh. It's going to be soft and pliable, and we're going to cover it with paper and set aside. We're going to boil our 3 cans of condensed milk. In fact, we only are going to use 1.5 cans, but I don't like to waste water, so I'm going to boil 3. So I'm going to put 3 cans, and we're going to cover it with water and close the pot. If you're using an express pot like mine, it only needs 45 minutes. If it's a regular pot, just boil it for 3 hours. On a clean surface, we're going to put our parchment paper, and we're going to flour that parchment paper because we're going to place our dough there. We're going to cut the dough in half. Each half of dough is going to give you 12 to 15 alfajores. So you're going to end up with 2 dozens and a little more. So, and now we have the dough and we're going to flour on top. And my trick is to always flour the rolling pin. Always, the rolling pin has to have flour at all times, otherwise it's going to stick and it's going to cause trouble. We don't want that. We're going to continue rolling and continue flouring the rolling pin until we achieve the thickness that we like, and I am going to tell you it is about 6.6 millimeters. Now that we have our dough ready, we are going to cut it with our cutters. It could be rounds, flowers, or any shape really. Just keep in mind that some shapes do brown more in the oven. We're going to leave the undesired dough because by moving the cuts, we are going to misshape them, and we don't like that. So instead of moving the rounds, we're going to move the underside dough and re-roll it and redo it. And if we need to move the cookies, always use a spatula or a bench scraper so you don't mess up with the shape. Now I am going to finish all these, and we're going to fill all our paper and carefully place it on the cookie sheet, and it's going to go into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 17 minutes. It all depends on your oven. And once the cookies are out of the oven, we let them cool. By that time, also our dulce de leche should be done, and we need to let the dulce de leche be cool for about 3 hours. We do not want to open the cans and cause any burns. I'm going to show you what the cookies should look like out of the oven. It's going to have a round rim that is colored a little tan on the sides, as you can see, but it's still pale in the middle, and we don't want them to brown. Icing sugar, coconut flakes, and dulce de leche are going to come into the picture now because we're going to fill our alfajores. This is when the sandwich cookies come to life and the sides need to have coconut. And now I'm going to talk to you about this book that says that the author is Martha Stewart, but it's really not. There is an alfajor recipe there, and it calls for a ridiculous amount of flour and water and really cold butter and process it in a food processor. So the recipe looks to me a little more like the empanadas recipe and not the alfajores recipe. At the end, we cover our alfajores in icing sugar. And here I am, I'm going to show you how I decorate my products. I put them in a box and then a sticker, and this is how they look.